All right, we're going to give this a few minutes. So, what is going on, folks? Hmm, is the bot broken again? All right. Get this tweeted out, and then we will get into the actual fun, folks. Yeah, Piers, I'll show you something. I'm going to be playing almost on max settings on the Steam Deck. You know, that 400 handheld console. So, you'll be surprised. Alrighty. So now, because apparently that's not going to share it, so I'll share it, whatever. People can do with that what they will. All right. So this particular game is part of the Syberia series. The Syberia series goes back to, I believe, either 2000 or 2002. I don't remember the exact year. Then it took 15 years for the next game to be released, which is Syberia 3, which some people didn't really care for it, mostly because it was different. It wasn't quite Syberia to them. So it'll be hit or miss as far as that. So how am I playing this on the Steam Deck? Well, I recently picked up a JSOC Steam Deck dock for about $40. And I am playing this with a PS4 controller hooked up to the Steam Deck. So for the people who want to actually see this, Steam Deck, controller, TV. So let's get into this. This game came out this year. As far as actual Steam Deck compatibility, sync that. As far as actual Steam Deck compatibility, it is playable according to this. I really haven't had much in the way of issues with it. Um, some of the text can be a little tight for some people. That's relative. But anyway, let's get into the giant play button. And I've already put about 2 hours into this game, so do note that we're not starting exactly from the beginning. There we go. As far as the load times are more because I've disabled pre-shader caching on my Steam Deck, and that there's a few different reasons for that. If you want to find out, basically the short version is if you have the 64 gig eMMC one, a lot of that is going to be the pre-shader caching that is going to eat most of your memory. All right. So as you can tell, I'm running at about anywhere between 38 and 40. So people want to know what my settings are for the power stuff, because that's always going to be a thing that people want to know. Here's your power stuff. So performance overlay. I have the frame rate limited to 40, so it's a smoother gameplay. I haven't messed around with the thermals. FSR is on. It's on 3, which is the mid balance setting. So we'll take that back. Alright, so main character is Kate Walker. That particular character is Dana, if I remember correctly. So let's get into show you the settings that we're currently at, so people can actually believe what I'm saying. Graphic quality, ultra, full screen, 720p, ultra. Texture, can't go any higher. Shadows are the only thing I've dropped down. Everything else, and I dropped down from TAA to FXX just because there's too much headroom hit on the Steam Deck. But what that allows is a smooth 40 FPS on a handheld console that is being output at 1080 to a high-end TV. That to me, mad awesome. Alright. So we will get rid of that and we will continue. I have no idea if you guys are going to be able to hear any of the voice acting or not, because sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Alright, press B to continue. Yes, yes I am. Of course, my question is, who's on the Destination Analytics account at the moment? So the minor stuttering to start is just, again, because I don't do pre-shader caching. So there's that.
Right. Guess I'd better start looking for shops called Muller that are likely to sell art supplies.
And this is highly playable at fairly high settings. So the an unsolved mystery. So if someone say it's dope, it's probably either, it's not Jill, so it's either Ryan or Michael.
Right. Guess I'd better start looking for shops called Muller that are likely to sell art supplies. I guess this shop is as good as any.
Yeah, good. I was gonna say, always hard to tell sometimes. Yeah, input output audio can be sketchy sometimes. So I've just kind of stopped arguing with a lot of the stuff. Check 3 shops. All right, so what 3 shops do we think we got? Let's try. Oh, these guys have been here since 1842. Pharmacy. Check. Maybe the antiques dealer?
I'm pretty confident about one of my choices.
Just trying to figure out which ones exactly to check out. Bicycle shop, pawn shop.
I should stick with 3 choices. Checking more locations would be too much. Oh, none of my choices. Oh, let's face it.
Alright, so any of them that have been here for a long
Case.
time.
I should start over. I get the feeling there's just a handful of Mullos where I can potentially get information about the painting.
Reload.
On second thought, it looks all wrong. Let's try some different choices.
Reload.
Oh, let's face it. None of my choices are likely to have sold the...
Reload.
Oh, none of my choices seem right. I better try something else.
Because I can only go by... Because this essentially takes place...
Face it. None of my choices are likely to have sold the painting case. I should start over.
How... Alright, let's try this again. So, I mean, personally, this is going to be a... you're either going to like these kind of games or you're not. And, again, totally fine.
Better start looking for shops called Mullo that are likely to sell art.
So, the way this particular game works is it is dual timeline. So, you bounce back and forth between 1937 and 2005, 2004, around specifically that time frame. And that comes into play during this particular set of stuff. So, like, you'll bounce back and forth for clues and that kind of stuff. Right. Reload. Reload. Let's see, then what we can do is go here, because you're a pawnbroker. What was the antiques guy? Sandals, boots, moccasins, pawnbroker.
Looks like I'm almost there. I just need to check one of my choices. Something doesn't feel right.
So the question becomes, I need one more. It'd be the pawnbroker and the antiques dealer, because that would make the most sense.
I nailed it for 2 of my choices, I think. I just need to change the wrong one. One of my choices feels off. I should change it.
Okay, so it's not that.
Looks like I'm
It's that
almost
one.
there.
I'm almost
Just need to
there.
check one of my choices. Something doesn't feel right.
Can't be you then. So which one would it be? Maybe the general store?
I nailed it for two of my choices.
Nope.
I think. I'm pretty sure about
Check.
two of my choices don't.
Not that one. Where would you be? This book description.
I'm pretty confident.
Ironically, it's not so much about being riveting. It's part of the puzzle
Pretty sure.
is trying to. One of my choices are.
But I bet I'm wrong about the other.
So which one would you be then?
Two of my choices don't feel right, but one.
Nope. Okay, we'll try the pawnbroker.
Looks like I'm almost there. I just need to check.
So it's not that one. That one?
One of my choices feels.
Nope.
I nailed it for two of my choices, I think.
Nope. Check.
Looks like I'm almost there. I just need to check one of my choices.
It's not that one.
These three make up a good basis to work from.
Okay, there we
Let's see
go.
if I can rule out a couple using the map.
Alright, so press left or right trigger to change camera angles. Where do we want to check?
Maybe the painting case came from this shop.
No, that's not the one I want. Let's see.
I'm pretty confident about one of my choices.
I do love the fact that in 2005 they're using QR codes. That is definitely interesting.
The musical square. Everyone says it's one of the places you just gotta see in Vog.
Two of my choices don't feel right, but one of them seems okay at least.
Alright, let's see. And we got it's you. You?
I'm pretty sure about.
Pretty sure one of my choices is but nope. So it's not that one.
Two of my choices don't feel right.
It's not that one. Well. Let's try.
I'm pretty confident about one of my choices.
So one of my choices is right, the other one is very, very wrong. Okay.
The musical square. Everyone says it's one of the places you
This book
just
is
gotta
rift.
see in Vaughan.
Always sarcastic. Good old Destination Linux.
Two of my choices don't feel right.
Alright, so two of them don't feel right. It's not those two.
I nailed it for two of my choices, I think. I just need to change the wrong one.
No, never.
I'm pretty sure about one of my choices.
The district where the guest house is situated. Pity none of the shops are near here.
One of my choices feels off. I should change it. Okay. So these
Okay,
three
so I
shops
found the
are
three
most
shops that I
likely
could have sold the
us.
painting that I need to look at, because basically what happens in the
Right
prologue
now.
is you discover a painting from 1937 and 2004. There's a bunch of backstory stuff that the character looks exactly like you, the future you, like the 2005 you. So that is kind of the hook, more or less. All right, so which one are we going to explore for this?
The district seems like it's changed a lot since when the phone book came out. Looks like the
Okay.
pawnbroker I found is no longer in business. The antique shop from the phone book is located in this district. Looks like it's full of similar stores.
Okay.
An industrial estate. Difficult to imagine an art supply shop could have prospered here.
So
Shop
we
I
will
found in the
go
book, no doubt
here.
about it. This antique shop is probably my best shot. Better hang on to the address.
Close. I mean,
Just need to get the painting from my room, and I can go and show it to the
there are
antique
plenty of
dealer.
other people who I can think are sarcastic. I mean, you know, you got Nate. Wendy's far more sarcastic than people seem to think she is. But I mean, Jill would never be sarcastic.
It's very calm here. Still haven't bumped into any guests since I arrived yesterday, and that suits me fine. Now I get why they call this part of town the Flower District.
All the flowers.
There must be 3 years worth of emails I haven't read here. Better do some cleaning up.
Ah, that's better.
Locations.
Way too many results that way. I'd never have located the Müller shop. Good thing I had Frau Wagner's documents.
You have no idea. Though in fairness, Ryan and Michael are probably the most sarcastic. No, not locations. People and organizations. So the thing I like about this particular game is the fact that it's just,
Oh my god, Mom
it's
was
very
born
much a,
months ago.
if you want a story focused game and not like a typical action adventure type of game, but more of an adventure point click kind of interact and atmospheric story driven game, that's what I really like about these games.
I wish you could be here with me now, Katyusha. We would have found the shop together.
Back. Organization. Back. 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 And we'll leave the search engine alone for a little bit. You know, don't need to Google my Google within my Google, as it were. So there's a lot of nice little touches that this game has that they make available for you to, you know, look at and stuff. Just interaction and that kind of stuff. It makes it far more entertaining to play.
I get the impression I've seen that before someplace. It's very calm here. Still haven't bumped into any guests since I arrived yesterday. And that suits me fine.
Oh, I can go upstairs. Nice. This is also something that I like where there's this level of exploration and kind of
I hope it'll be just as
it
calm
wants
when
you
I
to
get back.
explore, which is nice.
Wouldn't mind some alone time by
And
the
I will say
fire.
that the graphics for this, for a Unity game on a 720p output, is really
It
fantastic.
still works.
Just like from the lighting and stuff. Some of the stuff's a little blocky, like that apple on that one. But overall, it's hard to particularly knock
Hans.
what they were able to do with this
According
game.
to this flyer, he came to Vaughan during one of his trips.
Although personally, I think the best people to knock about anything is Ryan and Michael because they're terrible at video games.
That's Germany over there. I wonder how far Barokstadt University is from here. Oh, I understand why Wagner's call their town the heart of Europe. It's literally in the center of it. Vaughan is surrounded by the Alps. Switzerland is right on the other side.
All right, there's that.
That's not my room. Better not go in.
That's not my room. I can't go in.
I think
Observe.
that's Frau Wagner's room.
Frog Wagner. Let's explore Kate's room and see what this looks like. Oh, she's one of those investigative journalists with like the OCD, like the pins everywhere and stuff. Introspection. Inspect. Look.
Nice. It seems like a lifetime since I enjoyed some good old-fashioned comfort. Room might not be as cozy as a you-call yurt, but it's sure more spacious.
Sure, let's be a little introspective. Why not?
How strange to be here in Vaughan. After months of roaming from east to west on a motorbike. After taking odd jobs here and there to build up a little nest egg to finance this trip.
Like I said, I love the art style in this. It's
Lucky Frau
complicated but simplistic and whatnot, and there's just a lot to it that I like.
The days when
I don't think these type of games get enough credit because most people are like, oh, they're just story-focused games. I can't shoot things in the face. Well, you don't always need to shoot everything in the face. Some people just want to, you know, good story told to them and whatnot.
Pursuing my hypothetical double on the painting turned out to be too tempting. Comforting, even. In any case, I promised Katusha I would find her.
Is that it? How long does the introspection go for? Enough introspection. Let's actually get into see what the game is actually about some more. See, like, it's little things like on that scene right there where you see the character eye movement and that kind of stuff. That, you know, and you see the eyes not like dead but active, like the irises and stuff moving to left and right and blinking, and just a lot of little stuff like that that I really like.
I'll find her, Katusha, just like I promised. And we'll find out who she is. Or was.
Alright. I'm not even sure what the heck I'm looking at. Back. Okay, so then we go here. That is the note you find in the prologue. But 2004, it was stored in a music case. Near the shop in Vaughan. Okay. Inspect. Down. So here's the clue and the reason why you're here. Oh.
The meager amount I've managed to save since I escaped from the mine.
Added to the inventory. Aha, good. Nope. So this is the painting that you have found, and this character, the female in the character, looks kind of like you if you have your hair down and a few other things. All right, so now that that's all been looked at, let's go elsewhere, shall we? Go down in the stairs. Go down.
Oh, hi.
So this is very much a very slow-paced game. So if that is not your style, I'm sorry, but kind of is
Yes,
what it
I was
is.
even able to locate the shop I'm looking for. Thank you so much, Frau Wagner.
Good. Let me know if there's anything else
Sorry,
I
you
can
back
help
from
you
the...
with.
No, you're not back from the dead. That was last week's game, Wendy. Or do you mean me physically?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about your guest house, Frau Wagner?
Oh, I'd be delighted. What would you like to know?
I'd love to know more about you, Frau Wagner.
Oh, there's not much to tell, really. At least nothing that would change the course of history.
But I'm sure you've had an eventful life, haven't you?
Well, I was born just after the war in Wagen, and I've never left. I opened this place and ran it with my husband until...
Though, Piers, I will say this definitely does push
I'm
the
sorry
Steam
to hear
Deck as far as
You see, nothing to write home about. Then again, we were never ones for excitement, really.
this definitely does push the Steam Deck. You can definitely hear the fan going. Like if I really wanted all the details about everything, I guess I could change the view if I really wanted to.
The room's just perfect. Thank you so much.
There's no...
Honestly, Wendy, I've never been able to get into the fear of the dead or fear of the Walking Dead or, you know, Walking Dead in general.
American lady on a motorbike in the middle of the night looking for a mysterious shop.
I guess that has more to do with the fact that I'm a fan of George Romero zombie type movies, not so much
Things seem to be quiet today.
whatever,
There's
you
never
know,
many guests at this
fear
time of
is.
year.
Actually, is she a guest too?
Oh, yes. She arrived earlier. An elderly English lady. A former military officer, if I understood correctly. They say she's come on some rather unpleasant business. A burial, from what I can gather. Yes, Miss Walker. And she hasn't let go of the telephone since she got here.
I have a few questions
Lots of
about
talking.
Wagen.
Good.
Like I said, this is definitely not
About the
a game
latest
for everybody,
scientific
so
discovery
I
I'd
totally
never
get
seen
it if people
pass.
are not interested in this
But
style
if
of
it's not
game.
Wagen, then you've come to the right person, my dear.
Apparently, the shop I'm looking for is located in Wagen's Antiques District. Could you tell me how to get there from the guest house?
Your best bet is to take the tram, miss. The town centre.
I love Shaun of the Dead just because it is so, you know.
You'll find the nearest tram stop. at
Was
the
it the
top of
Coronado
stairs.
trilogy? I believe it's called. It's named after like an ice cream, like some type of ice cream, British ice cream, like the trilogy of like Shaun of the Dead movies and you know those movies.
To be honest, I haven't had much time to find out about
What's going on,
Wagen
Prophetic?
and the surrounding area. What is it I should know?
For one, Wagen is very old.
Yes, we do live streams. We do them every week.
And the surrounding area.
The only time I don't stream is when last minute work job. You know, not much I can do about that. So every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern to generically 10 or so, depending on how many people are here.
What can you tell me about the district?
I usually skip that talking. So, Wendy, are you saying you wish people would have a skip button?
Do try to keep it from modernization and mass tourism as best as we can. Other districts haven't been so
No.
The locals
The like that trilogy worth of movies that like Hot Fuzz and that stuff. That there's a specific like name for all three. I believe it's all three of them that they call them, and I think it was the Coronado trilogy, which is like based on like the ice cream wrappers that you see occasionally kicking around in the movies. I don't know. Anything with Simon Pegg as far as like those particular type of movies, I love.
My,
I'm not sure if you've seen Hot Fuzz or not. That is a great movie as well,
Could you tell me
especially if
more
you're an
about
action
the
movie fan.
history?
I'd be glad to.
I told you, Piers, it's not. It runs hot.
The woman I'm looking for must have been about 18 in 1930.
I mean, I could tune this down to so it runs lower more, probably, but
No. But I'm not much of a historian, and I wasn't even born then. All I know is that the Troubles came the following years, with the Second World War. So that year must have been a boom year for fascist ideology.
yeah, that was the one. Yep, that's the
Still just another
stack
party
of movies.
vying for power.
I love the fact that realistically, if you look at Hot Fuzz, that entire ending sequence, nobody actually dies. It's such an action movie tropey play on it where you go around and kill all the bad guys at the end, and they kill nobody,
Annexed and occupied by the fascists.
which is what I love about that movie,
They sacked, stole, and pillaged.
and the fact that it shows all the paperwork stuff.
They did in the rest of occupied Europe.
Nothing else comes to mind for the moment. Thank you for your time.
Well, feel free to come back and ask if you have any more questions.
Actually, prophetic, what you should be looking for is the startup sound that the composer from Mass Effect did for Ubuntu.
If you don't mind, I'm in the middle of a call. It's busy.
Yeah, Sam Hulick. I think it was for the back in like 1404 release. But yeah, Sam Hulick, Mass Effect. Sam Hulick was the Mass Effect composer, and he decided to do a startup sound for Ubuntu, which is kind of cool. I still see it kicking around occasionally. I haven't looked at it or played with it for a while, so I don't know where exactly you'll find it. I know last time I found it, it was somewhere in OMG Ubuntu.
This district is just so beautiful.
There you go. Found it. I will say it does very much have a Mass Effect-y kind of feel to it, which is kind of cool.
Must be the botanical gardens. Too bad it's closed.
So, as you can tell, this is a fairly intensive game for the Steam Deck by looking at the GPU CPU temps. The nice thing though is, for the most part, it's not like ungodly hot. As far as how much this dock is, the dock was $39.99, and there was a 15% off coupon with the first like 500 orders, I think. So I got mine for like under 35. If you're expecting a Switch, don't, because you have to manually change some settings. It is plug and play, but it doesn't do the automatic upscaling like what you would expect out of a Switch. So if that is what you were expecting, you'll be sorely disappointed. The dock itself is very simplistic. Plug it in the back, plug the power cord in, plug it into the top of the deck, and go. And the cool thing was, though, that the deck automatically detected the TV output and automatically puts to that and puts the sound out to that. So there's no messing around with, like, sometimes even in Windows or Linux, you use a PS4 controller and it'll try to output all the sound through the headphone port at the bottom as the output for the entire system. It does weird things like that. Not the case with this. I hooked up the Bluetooth controller after this, and it literally, anytime I turn the deck on, I hit the PlayStation button and it just does its thing. So this is not quite as drop in and go as, you know, the Switch, but it is really close. And Valve can fix a few minor things along those lines. They're gonna have one heck of a system as far as the drop-in replacement type stuff. You know, that hot switching, as it were, that a lot of people, you know, want out of a PC. You know, they want to just be able to take their thing and kind of go wherever they do and call it good. Let's see, travel. Or so the technology level on this is interesting because it is a AI-ish kind of level, but it looks very steampunk-ish in the same note too. Just the way like certain things are built, like automatons and that kind of stuff. As an example, that's not a human, that's an automaton, because you will see shortly. That's your driver.
Have you heard what the Thor uncovered up in the mountain?
At Devil's Pass, you mean? I did hear something on the news before coming out. What's the latest then?
They reckon they found remains dating back to World War II, when Alpine resistance networks led refugees across into Switzerland. Nasty times are those.
So the themes of this are very much around kind of the World War II themes, and I'll put it that way. So if you understand what those themes from World War II are, it's very much present day, just transplant those themes into modern, and those are the ones that you deal with in 1937, which is the other character that you play. So make sure you folks are subscribed to the GameSphere channel too, because if you guys actually miss these streams are generically posted up on Sundays for rewatch. So they can get streamed on Monday. They'll usually be up on Sunday at the end of the week for you guys to catch up on in case you missed it. So I do have another review coming for GameSphere. It's for a game called As Dusk Falls. If you have heard of it or remotely played any type of choose your own adventure games, looking at you games like Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, those kind of like Telltale, David Cage type games, you will like this art style. Kind of divisive. Some people like it, some won't. It's kind of a motion comic in the way that it's presented. If you've ever seen any art by the artist Ashley Wood, who did a lot of the Metal Gear Solid comics, you'll see kind of what that looks like and kind of get an idea for that. Not gonna lie, Piers, those them be their fighting words to me. No, I like both. I like steampunk. I like I like cyberpunk. I'm probably a bigger fan for cyberpunk, but that's more because of themes and everything that it has to do with more than anything else, and usually art design. Um, the thing I always have a problem with steampunk is just more the aesthetic. It's a lot of darker colors, so it's earth tones, black, gray, brown, very much like what I'm seeing here. That's really my only problem with it. It's not so much anything else other than that. But on the same note, cyberpunk is very much its aesthetic. It is very much darks and contrasted with bright neon. So it's a personal choice on that one.
An antique shop.
Oh, these people sold them, but
An antique shop, but not the one I'm looking for.
Miller's? Oh, straight ahead, Fraulein. You can't miss it.
it appears if it was Ryan might have a problem with that because he's very much a cyberpunk fanboy.
No, that isn't the antique shop I'm looking for.
Though again, I can't really say much because I wear my fanboyism for cyberpunk on my sleeve as far as how much I like it. I make that bias known as much as Nate makes his bias known for whenever he tries to other distros, he's always going to fly back to OpenSUSE. More or less, but less horror elements, prophetic.
Feels like I've completely lost my appetite since the mines. And yet, Vaughan is famous the world over for its cakes. Müller und
Oh.
Söhne. Mother and son. This must be the place.
Hey now, who you calling smart? If it's Nate, we're not gonna give him credit, and if it's Ryan, we're definitely not gonna give him credit.
I thought as much. So, Hans was here in Wagen after all. That hallmark on that sphere proves it. Wonder what that automaton was used for. I have to get a closer look. Well, that is if someone lets me in.
Wonder if it'll let me in. Oh, I tried. I wonder if I ring this enough if people get annoyed. Oh! Oh, awesome. Does that mean I can steal it?
You rang?
Yes. Sorry to bother you. I should talk to the antique dealer. I can always browse later.
I was in the middle of an inventory. Is it urgent?
Hello. I mean, guten Tag. Herr Müller?
Guten Tag, Fräulein. I am stock-taking, if you will.
Oh, sorry to disturb you, but if you don't mind, I'd like to show you a painting.
A painting?
Yes, of someone I'm looking for. A girl who apparently looked like me.
Well, I'm rather busy. But all right. Show me.
You see? It has the name of your shop on it.
Yes, the label certainly comes from here. It's very old, though.
It's the only clue I have as to the whereabouts of the girl.
I see.
My guess is whoever owned the painting must have been a client of the shop before the painting was stolen by the Brown Shadow during the Second World War.
That's all very possible. That was when the shop sold materials for artists. As you can see, we don't sell that type of article anymore. Do you mind if I take a look?
Be my guest.
Who's the
Do
artist?
you know anything about the artist?
Well, I'd say the style is close to the naturalist school.
The naturalist.
Makes sense given the date.
date.
The signature is very faint. From what I can make of it... No. The name doesn't ring a bell. Sorry, Fraulein.
I've been told I look like the model in the painting. A slight exaggeration, no doubt. But is there any chance that you know who she could have been?
There's no exaggeration, Fraulein. Indeed, she does look
Indeed,
like
she does look like you.
But I'm sorry.
I've never seen her before. So in other words, I've never seen you before.
How could the case have come from your shop?
Going by the date, the painting must have been done in my grandfather's day. Back then, the shop sold materials for art, and this type of case would have been used to protect a painting. Or to carry documents, a manuscript, or even sheet music.
Random sheet music.
Apart from that, there's not much else I can tell you.
Pity. You were my last hope.
I can tell you where it was painted, though, if it's any help.
Oh?
Yes, I'm certain. That's the refuge at the Silberspiegel. You can make out the mountain circus in the background. It overlooks Wagen and leads to the Swiss border.
Right.
You can get there by the tramway. Just head southeast and get off at the end of the line.
Thank you. You've been very helpful.
Mind you, there's quite a hike from the station to the refuge.
Oh, I'll manage.
Anything else, Fräulein?
Actually, there is. I noticed an object in your window there. A strange metal sphere which might work with an automaton mechanical heart I have.
Piers, I don't think it's so much nihilism.
Can I try it?
I think
No,
it's
not at all. Let me get it for you.
that I already know what you mean. That ex nihilo fit kind of mentality for a nihilist. I don't think it's really that. I think it's just a caricature of it. Unfortunately, cyberpunk now reflects the current, which it was never meant to. It was always meant to like show the extreme if you go to one end of it. So like the over commercialization of everything. It's kind of like when you go back and watch movies like Demolition Man or Idiocracy now. It's kind of like it's a little on the nose for some things.
It moved. Maybe it can be opened. It moved. Maybe it can be opened.
Okay, it's not that. So then what is it?
It moved.
So it
Maybe
can be opened. So there's something underneath
these
it's
scales.
okay. So how do we make it go away is the question.
Wrong one. Ugh, I need to start over. Wrong one. Ugh, I need to start over.
Okay, I see. Nice.
Wrong one. Ugh, I need to
So
start over.
what we need to do is this.
start over.
Okay, so
Wrong one.
0 is
Start
wrong.
over.
So they are 2.
Wrong one.
So it's not
Start
that. So
over.
it's got to be 2 and something.
Wrong one.
So it's not
I need to
that.
start over.
All right. So
Wrong one.
all right. So after almost an hour and 15 of this, yeah. So overall, love these type of games. They do make you think. Sometimes some people love them, some people hate them, but for me, I enjoy these type of games to no end. Uh, I'm amazed at how well it runs on the Steam Deck. This is a playable title, but it works perfectly fine. So as you can tell, it gets a little hot, but then again, where I'm recording is probably not exactly the coolest area in the world either. So there is that. But definitely can recommend this. It's a little pricey for some people. I think it's $39.99. I got it for about 24 through various areas that where I know to go and that are legal. But definitely it's if you're into story focused games and atmosphere and kind of more of a chilled pace of gaming and puzzle solving and atmosphere building and that kind of stuff, this is definitely one to check out. I plan on finishing this at some point. This is definitely a Steam Deck game for me, as opposed to a lot of the other things, some of the other games that I play. So definitely worth picking up if you are into these type of games. So I will be back next week doing a, not sure what game yet. There's a couple of games that I got in the tank to either review. I got a couple of games that I gotta actually stream from some developer publisher codes that I have that gotta require me to do that. But also at some point, I'm gonna probably throw in a couple of polls to let you guys decide which ones we actually see what one we actually end up probably doing for next week. So next week will probably be a poll vote for the community to do. I will probably end up posting that on the YouTube channel, Twitter, and usually you can find it in the Destination Linux Tux Digital forums, whatever we're calling them currently. So you can find them there. As far as what games, don't know yet. I'm still working on that. But make sure you guys, again, subscribe to the Gamester YouTube channel. There is a review coming out sometime by the end of the week for As Dusk Falls for the Xbox Series X, which is what I played it on. You can play that particular game on Steam. Hit or miss because of the file formats. So some people have said it plays fine, others not so much. But I will catch you guys next week. I want to thank Bitwarden and DigitalOcean for being fantastic sponsors of the Tux Digital Network. You can go to tuxdigital.com/sponsors and find out more about some of the fantastic products that they have and the fantastic deal that DigitalOcean has. Gives you $100 free credit when you sign up using the code TUX2022. And yeah, so other than that, thanks for joining, guys, and I will see you next week, and we'll see which one you guys potentially torture me with. But I'll still be better than Ryan and Michael.